place. Gives you a different perspective. Absolutely. If you keep doing what you've always done, nothing changes. Right? Einstein, I seem to remember. Insanity is
doing the same thing over and again and expecting different results.
Absolutely. Alexander's version of that quote is, you can't do something new if you keep doing something old. It's a simple idea. One of the aspects of this work is to work with habit. It's a big idea. So what's a habit? By definition, it's what you're doing when you don't know what you're doing. So how do you work with it? If in order to be in relation to it, you have to not know it. You see the conundrum here? Yeah. Yeah, the work is full of delicious conundrums. Really delicious, delectable. It's not chocolate and vanilla. It's really like, wow, that's got a hint of that in flavor. It's very Portland-like, you know? This and a dash of that in flavor of this. And very complicated tastes. You know? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, habit. Yeah, that what you're doing, which you don't notice what you're doing. Well, first of all, once you're noticing a habit, it's not a habit because you're noticing it. Right? And so what we often do in this work is we find ways to reveal your habit by offering you a new perspective that is not your habit. And because you're in the new perspective for a moment, you can go, oh, I can now have an appreciation of, first of all, what I usually do. I usually sit in that chair that has that perspective. And now that I'm not sitting in that chair, first I can see that chair. That's the most important. I can see where I was, right? And the world looks different from a different perspective. And each of these surfaces is different. You're in the back, you're on the floor, it's like soft, that one's pretty cold.
And cold.
Yeah.
Right. Why you change seats now?
Yeah. Right? And so we start to study not to get rid of habits, but to find out what have we put in the file we call habit. Right? Habits are super useful because wouldn't it be nice not to have to relearn how to brush your teeth every single morning? Right, habits are great. Totally useful things. But what did you put in that habit file? The quality of you while you're doing that. What choices are you making? And what belief systems underlie those choices? I'm going to give you an example from my own background that just popped into my mind. When I was somewhere around the training where Bradley is now, kind of into it, but kind of young in the training, I had a teacher work with me, and we worked on brushing teeth. We were like, that is an activity. This is so comfy, but I'm going to have to get up to demonstrate. Okay, so my teacher said to all of us, go home tonight and watch what you do when you brush your teeth. Sounds easy, you know. Okay. So I'm going to face this way because the action is actually behind me. And then I'll turn around and show you. So I went home that night like a good student, trying to do a good job. And did you catch it?
Yeah.
And the first part of this brushing my teeth ritual was to turn on the water. Okay? So I reached out to turn on the water and I went, let me do that over here. I reached out to turn on the water and I went, and I stopped and I went, why am I squeezing my butt to turn the faucet? I never knew I was squeezing my butt to turn on the faucet. Why did I do that? Right? Makes no sense whatsoever. And I hadn't noticed I'd been doing it at all. It wasn't until I had the intention to notice what I was doing inside that activity that I realized not only was I squeezing it, but I was keeping it squozed. It's like, you know? And then so part of me thinks, oh, well, you know, What age are you when you start turning on the faucet yourself to brush your own teeth? That's pretty young, you know, that's in there, right? And so the faucet is kind of way up there. Hopefully you have one of those step stool things, which I still have in my house for me. Right? You know? But, you know, the turning of the faucet is you're reaching way out there and it's big for your little hand, and if it's a little stick and stucky, maybe you had to use a decent amount of oomph. Maybe as a 4-year-old or something, or even a 3-year-old somehow, I held my breath, reached out, squeezed my butt, and got that faucet open, and was so proud of myself for getting it done. You see how that would be a totally viable way that I might have learned that habit. Because I'm sure my mother didn't say, now first you squeeze your butt, and now you're done, you know? So it was probably absolutely a perfect solution for me in relation to that activity at that age. I didn't do it wrong. I did what it took for me to actually get this big handle far away from me that was hard to move. Perfectly reasonable choice. Brilliant piece of organization on my nervous system's part. I did what I needed to do to get the job done. Clearly. But then I grew up, right? And because it was part of the habit of how I learned it, I actually didn't know to not do it because I didn't know I was doing it. You see where that would come in. And so in this moment, and I was in my, early 20s, right, that I noticed I squeezed my butt to turn on a faucet, and not just relative to brushing my teeth. I realized as I started looking that every faucet I came into interaction with had an appropriate butt squeeze. Ooh, faucet! Woohoo! Yeah, so in that moment, I kind of went, aha, that's what I'm doing there. And so I had the opportunity, because I saw it, right? Because I noticed it in present time, it gave me the opportunity to make a new choice. Make a new choice. You can't change anything you don't know you're doing. Really simple idea. If you don't see it, you can't change it. That's why we all have teachers, right? They're the extra set of eyes that are going, no, really, you really are pulling back on those reins. No, I'm not. I'm comfy. What do you mean? I'm giving them a lot of rain. What do you mean? Right? You don't know you're doing it. There's the extra set of eyes. So something about this work offers you a chance to have the extra set of eyes, the noticing of your habits, so that you can make a new choice. And that's the most important piece of it, so that you can make a new choice if you want to. You might notice your habit and say, you know what, I'm really happy with that. I've got really toned butt cheeks with all that. I'm keeping it. Perfectly valid choice. But it's your choice, not your habits. Do you see where right and wrong don't come into this picture? It's not a good or a bad thing. It's that it's your choice versus your habit. Right? And everyone's going to make different choices, and that's brilliant and wonderful, and we celebrate that. Right? Yeah, if I'm holding up here and I could have the choice to let go of it, but letting go of it makes me really afraid, right? Then I'm more comfortable in the moment making the choice to hold on to it. Great. As long as it's your choice. It's probably smart. Maybe there's something that hasn't healed enough over there, and so holding on to it and not doing that with it, that's probably a great choice, right? And so it's about what's appropriate for right now in your life, really this moment in your life, given any activity. Okay? So tell me about this study that you did, this last piece that was about rest. What did you notice? Rest. Consciously receive support. How was that one different?
I kept taking it back. I mean,
Yes.
I would rest and then I was back.
Absolutely. There's a habit. That's great. Yeah, so rest. Wow, what is that thing? What is that? What's challenging about that? Because it is, in fact, a very challenging study. What else did you notice about it?
I noticed it was heavy.
Heavy.
I thought about the poor horse with these sitting.
Yeah, so you were the head or the body?
I was the body.
You were the body. And so there was a different kind of weightedness. Absolutely. Now, as with all things, there's, when you're dealing with weight, there's push, and then there's rest. And those are two slightly different categories, right? Because lift is one thing, and push is another, and somewhere in the middle of that is rest. This is something I'm doing. This is something I'm doing. But this is something I'm receiving. This is something I'm doing, and this is something I'm doing in the other direction. But this is something I'm being. This is the quality of me in this moment. You hear how rest takes you into that other world? Do it with your own hands. One's on the bottom, one's on the top. Okay, without decapitating yourself. Come over here. Without pulling this hand up, lift the top hand or hold the top hand up. And the bottom hand's going to stay with it. And tell me about the quality of this.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous. What else? My arms are actually getting tired already. Yeah. Yeah, super. How's your own breathing while you do this? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, because I'm tired of this job already, right? Okay, well, shake that all out. All right, you can switch or not switch as you choose. This time, the top hand is really going to push down. Okay, I'm going to really give you my weight. Yeah, it's an action. And it doesn't have to be a hard push, but the idea is you're doing the giving of weights. And move that around, see how it is. Check out your breathing. See what that's like. And what's getting tired, if anything? I actually feel it back here. I clench my jaw. Triceps are doing something funny. Shoulders are like, okie dokie. Right? All sorts of interesting stuff happening. Shake all that out. Whichever hand you want. Consciously receiving support. Okay, so the first thing is touching is useful, right? You can't be lifting, right? So actually having contact. And then move your top hand just a little bit so that you can feel the surface areas change. You see what I'm saying? Like a different part of your hand is touching a different part of your hand. Yeah, do it in such a way that you feel that, you notice it. There's some nuance to it. There you go. How's your breathing?
Slower.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it fascinating that it changes your breathing? Just that by itself, the fact that there's a change there. Yeah, okay, so now you can feel it. Choose to let that bottom hand be useful to you. It's like, all right, I don't want to push on it, but I do want to get back some support from it. Something's going to come towards your top hand. So change your orientation just a little bit. The hand on top is still your head, but imagine for a second the bottom hand coming to be with the top hand. Not holding it up, coming to be with. Yeah. And the top hand is still deciding where to move. It's not just that this hand's empty and this hand's active and I have my hand and I'm moving it around.
My body's really bossy.
Your body's really bossy. I bet you that's a theme.
Probably.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, so your top hand is offering weight. It's not pulling up, it's not pushing down. It's just offering its true weight so that there's a real contact. And for right now, your bottom hand is coming up to meet your top hand.